Years ago, here in Tshwane, South African women marched against the unjust pass law system under the apartheid regime, a law which restricted the free movement of black people. Hello and welcome to this episode of Eye on Gauteng. I'm Pupulethu Cele. Today we come to you from the city of Tshwane, and on this episode we take a look at the pivotal role that women continue to play in moving the Gauteng City Region forward. On the 9th of August 1956, thousands of women from all parts of South Africa marched to the Union buildings. The bundles of signed petitions were hand-delivered to the then Prime Minister J.G. Straydham's door. Sophia Williams de Bruin was one of these women.
We woke up very energetic and excited, and we were taken to the station. To the Union buildings, and the comrade who took us, who drove us, few of us women, was banned, and he couldn't be in a group, but he took the chance to take us and dropped us at Union building. And when we came there, the women were already there, and some more were coming. So we stood there and waited for everybody, and finally, when everybody was there, we started marching up the steps of the Union building and got on top of the amphitheater, while the other women, the bulk of the women, sat down on the grass. And some of them had their babies on their backs, and Maan Goy then said that we have to go and give the petitions to Straydham. So the four of us had the petitions on our arms, and we moved along to his offices and knocked on his door.
Marking that historic event 60 years later, here in Tshwane, Williams de Bruin commemorates Women's Day with the rest of a democratic South Africa. The main events of the day featured the unveiling of the Women's Living Heritage Monument, followed by a resonant march to the Union buildings where the celebrations continue. CNBC Africa's Ropiwa Matsena chatted to some of the people attending.
We are very happy that we are living today without carrying those dompas. Even if I look at it, I used to see my grandmother's dompas. I hate it because I know what women were going through tough time that time. They were not recognized, they were not respected, they were not given their positions, But today things are very better.
I'm part of the product of the 1956 march. I wouldn't be who I am today if they didn't pave the foundation for us so that we can be into decision-making position and empower other women. And for which I need to be part of the anniversary, because we did take their legacy. As in transformation as a director, you need to make sure that there are other women who can be above you.
We come here today to come and remember the 60th anniversary of the women who were very strong, who decided to fight for their own rights. They decided to converge here because they really did not want to carry the dompas at that time, because that was the main challenge that was fighting for. For us, we are here to remind ourselves of that legacy they've left, that 6 years down the line, we must carry that responsibility and say, what are the current challenges for today and what is it that we need to do as women, so that even ourselves we can leave the legacy, that our granddaughters and daughters can come and say, these are the women who really carry this legacy and make sure that our women are developed in the country.
Do you think there have been many changes for women in the country?
A lot of changes. We know that those women, by the time they were marching here, marching for Straydham, at that time, women did not have a voice. Women were really under oppression, triple oppression, because they had to carry the pass, they were not allowed to come to the city. There were so many things that women really were denied their rights. But today, in democracy, women can participate, we can vote, we can participate, we can go to parliament, we're given all these opportunities in the economy, we're given all these opportunities where we are equal with men, and we think this democracy has done a lot for our women.
And then finally, what would your message to other women, younger and older, be as we move forward as a country?
My message is today, we can remember those women, Lilian Ngoyi, Charlotte Matleke, Sophie de Brain were with her today. We really are honored and happy to celebrate the victories they've won. The question is, what are the victories that we are leaving behind? What is the legacy that we'll be leaving behind? We must be able to use the opportunities that are there brought by this government to empower ourselves and really take this South Africa forward, because as South Africa we are an example, and we are leading the Africa in general, we are leading the world. Therefore, as South Africa, we must empower ourselves to make sure that we are able to lead the South Africa moving forward.
Our struggles are not so different, yet they are similar. We need to thank the women before us, because I remember when this government took over, and when our parents voted in 1994 and they went to Beijing in 1996, they said that they will make the lives of young people and the lives of young women better. They're not there, but I stand here as one of the empowered women. I'm a single mother. I'm a career woman, and I'm aware of the struggles of women.
We came here to celebrate the Women's Month, which is the whole month. It means that even at home, our husbands at home must remember that it's our month, so they have to take care of us, eh?
The Women's Monument, as well as a heritage site, will honor women for their contribution towards the struggle for freedom, democracy, and the advancement of South Africa. It features a multi-purpose center for formal and informal training for women and market access for local crafts. It will also provide information to the youth about the women's struggle and provide leadership training for political and developmental issues. Ropiwa Madzena caught up with the Gauteng MEC for Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation.
The importance of this day is such that it makes all of us to feel emotional. That 60 years on, women who braved cold weather, women who braved the apartheid system, women who braved or against all odds, decided we are going to the union buildings because enough is enough. We can't be demanded to be carrying passes. Our husbands can't be arrested, or our boy children can't be arrested because they don't have passes. If you are a man and you did not go to work, it means you can't even go to the loo outside. But and if you are found walking without your pass, you'll be shamboked and be told you are out of order. So these women, they just felt we need to correct what is wrong. And you know, through the power of women, anything is possible. It's them in 1954 who first wrote the Women's Charter. And in that Women's Charter, they demanded a right to vote, right to health care, right to education, right to employment, and right to equal pay. And in 1956, as they were marching to the union buildings, they were saying what we have agreed that we want to see happening. We want to see the liberation and emancipation of women. So it's through them, those women who marched to this building in 1956, that we pay tribute to and say, through them, we are who we are. We find ourselves in leadership positions. They were the champions and we are the beneficiaries. And we hope going forward, even the younger generation will own up to these good stories that were done by these women and advance on what they initiated and further improve on their lives.
Let's fast forward a few years after that march. You've had quite a bit of experience interacting with different people, different stakeholders, and women on the ground. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges faced by women today?
women still face the challenges of poverty. Majority of women, because when we grew up, our fathers used to say, if you educate a girl child, you are wasting your money. It means most of them, they never had an opportunity to go to school and study and be better people, such that they are not skilled, they can't be able to do work on their own. Majority of women still suffer from abuse. And the patriarchy that is still there, the patriarchy is still very, very strong within our communities. Women are forever looked down upon. They are regarded as minors. They are still regarded as people who don't have a good sense of thinking. They still need to be nurtured. So the challenges that are still there, we believe they can be overcome if we empower even the girl child today to study and study very hard. Refrain from depending on sugar daddies, but make education the key tool that they must live on. Because through education, they live a better life, they'll earn a better salary, and they'll also be able to take care of their parents who could not take care of themselves. So those women in those times who were unemployed and not having skills, you look 60 years on, you still have women who are unemployed and not having skills. We say this can't be happening in today's age. We wish that all women can be given opportunities to be skilled, women can be given an opportunities to further themselves, women can be given opportunities to even be leaders in society. Because where there's a woman leading, there's a difference that you'll see happening in that community.
I want us to talk a little bit about those opportunities. What are some of the initiatives that government is taking part in to ensure that women are exposed to such opportunities?
Government is emphasizing that every girl child learner must go to school. If at home you can't afford to pay school fees, you can take your child to school without even paying a cent. At tertiary institutions, girl learners are also given an opportunity to study, and they are offered bursaries. Those that come from very poor families who can't even afford it, they are given that opportunity to do that. Various training institutions, FET centers, where young women can go in there and study and have a skill. You've got quite a lot of colleges that have opened today. It can't be like in the olden days when all of us wanted to be nurses. Today we've got all these opportunities to study and be engineers, to study and be IT specialists, to study and do everything that is available to us. We hope young women will take advantage of these opportunities and not what I want to emphasize, and not want to depend on sugar daddies. They must refrain from sugar daddy syndrome, but say, I am who I am, this is my body, let me respect it and be able to be a better person in life.
After the break, we continue our focus on the growth and empowerment of women in the Gauteng City Region. Stay with us. Welcome back to Eye on Gauteng. Now, August is Women's Month, bringing to the fore some of the daily challenges that women go through. Let's take a look now at some of the initiatives that have been launched by the Gauteng City Region, which aim to mitigate these challenges and empower women. In the Premier's State of the Province address earlier this year, David Makura commented that his administration had exceeded the 30% target with regards to the empowerment of women through their procurement policy. He also said that they were well on their way to reach the 50% target by 2020. Currently, 400 enterprises owned and run by women benefit from the province's procurement spend. 487 social cooperatives have been supported, most of its 3,000 members being women. They are involved in areas such as food gardening, community-based urban agriculture, and producing school uniforms. They also produce dignity packs that get distributed to the poorest households. This month, 1,300 sanitary pads were donated to Gauteng schools.
We all know that a girl child has certain needs which are biological or natural. Amongst others is that on a monthly basis you are expected during your menstrual period to have sanitary towels. I shed a tear when the principal told me that some of the girl learners are still using a toilet paper. Others are coming to school not using anything. They'll only see when they've already damaged themselves that the girl is in the menstruation period. So I think we have a greater need in the school. We are here today as the legislature being led by the Speaker, Honorable Ntombi Mihwe, has identified the school that we must come and donate the sanitary towels. We are going to give every girl learner 2 packs. May I repeat that, Tendai? 2 packs, which is about 20, and it's not enough. It's not enough because a girl child must use these sanitary towels on a monthly basis, and it depends on how many days does the learner go to period. Sometimes maybe 7 days, it may be 3 days, it may be 2 days. So I will appeal to the private sector, to those who have businesses, to even other government departments to take this call of donating sanitary towels to a girl child, particularly to the school, because we've identified this school, so that they can partner in with the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. I repeat, the need is great. Let us all take responsibility, firstly, as elected representatives, secondly, as those who have businesses who can, and also as all responsible citizens.
A number of studies have indicated that some girl learners miss school for at least 4 days due to their monthly cycle.
We sometimes take it for granted when we hear people talking on TV and in the newspapers to say girls miss school because they feel embarrassed. This is what is happening to us. Girls don't come to school. I was shocked at one stage a teacher called me to show a learner who was using a cloth. They are still using cloth in this time and era. So it's sad. So we are glad that the government is taking this initiative and being active in assisting the learners. Yes.
Have the government told you if they would be carrying on this program? Would they roll out?
Yes, they said they will be coming even next month and the following month.
With government appealing for community involvement, Johannesburg-based Ramona Casavan stepped up to the plate. She manufactures her own sanitary pads, which cost a third of the price of common supermarket brands.
The bubbles of confidence is messages of hope. So whenever you use these, you know that you belong to a brand that believes you are smart, you are talented, you are brave, you are confident, and celebrate your womanhood, because that's what we stand for. For me, it is like a woman, once she becomes pubescent and she's actually menstruating, is a sign of fertility in many cultures. That means that the generation can carry on. And I mean, as women, when you can't have children, it's actually quite a stigma. So when you are menstruating, it's actually a positive. So I just wanted to create a positive brand, opposed to women complaining about, oh, I have my period today. It's more like, oh, it's happy days every day. Because I think it was accepting from the beginning that your period is real. My period is not a secret, and we teach our girls this every week. It's about I'm loud and proud and everybody. And I always say that if you look around you, every woman, even that you don't even expect, has a period. It could be helpers, it could be women that are cleaning or sweeping, or women sitting in high-powered positions. No one talks about it, but we all are. And I just wanted to be like, you don't have to wear black pants all the time. You know, you can really be okay with it. Or if you have a cramp, talk to someone or talk to your girlfriend. Stop assuming. And for me, it's interesting when we go to schools, because you hear the most insane things from these girls because they're so miseducated. And ours was just a brand about truth, acceptance, accepting my body for the way it is. And I just wanted a brand that's a safe space for girls to grow, women to accept who they are, and to share my story as a against all odds kind of thing to where we are right now.
Beyond the bottom line, she also runs an in-house enterprise development program where women from disadvantaged backgrounds are taught business and financial management skills, among other things. The candidates are signed on as direct resellers of the Happy Days sanitary pad, allowing them to use their new skills to earn an income for themselves. This also means the more affordable pad is distributed into their communities.
I think it's the social economic reason and the passion to change perception of girl child in Africa. It's the idea that we have a foundation that donates to keep girls in school, so 20% of our profits go to that while we sustain the business to create a direct selling model. But it's the you know, I say that most of these pad campaigns out there are amazing. Yes, everyone needs to help and we all need to work together. But I felt that I needed to change and solve the gap of accessibility and affordability. So ours was to empower women in communities, because I think unemployment amongst women sits at about 56%. And for us it was, how do you bring the girl that's not going to get a tertiary education, who's staying at home because of family commitments, how do you bring her in, and what do you do to make the pads move? Because anyone will tell you in an NGO or an NPC perspective that funding is an issue. You're competing with 100,000 NGOs in South Africa alone. And for me, that was a turning point, because people buy pads from July, August, September, and then there is no pads, or they'll buy for 16 days of activism. And when I was studying at Gibbs, I came up with a concept called Pads and Cents. And what Pads and Cents does is, further from research, is it teaches financial literacy for women to save, secure and invest. I found it weird that women don't know how to save. You know, they'd live on higher amounts of debt. They wouldn't be able to take out a contract, or they won't be able to pay for this, and they were constantly taking money from certain people. And the whole image of Pads and Cents was to take the pads, sell it for a commission of 20% and empower myself as a woman so that I can stay away from bad situations that lead me to poverty, prostitution, drugs, addictions, all of those things. It was more of a safe space for I am woman, I am being woman, I am myself kind of thing. So that was Pads and Cents, and that's what makes us different. We're a business that takes the pads directly to our people and our women, actually. And it's just the branding, you know, it's a loud, proud African brand celebrating your women.
Continuing their focus on the dignity and empowerment of women in Gauteng, the Gauteng provincial government's Green Door initiative was launched to give abused women a safe space.
The initiative is about getting the community involved in reporting victimization, but also in protecting women and children who are experiencing violence or trauma against them, but also to make sure that those that are respected community leaders take a lead in making sure that when there is an abuse happening in an area, people don't keep quiet, they don't turn a blind eye, but they immediately respond to them and make available their homes as a haven for safety. And that was the reason for us establishing this particular initiative. Most of the people are people who are already community activists who are respected by community members. And why we target such people? It can be a man or a woman. We target such people that who are respected by the community, who will never be followed. When a person runs to their homes or when a case is being reported to them, a perpetrator won't follow the victim to that particular home, because already that person has the support of the community, including maybe of that particular perpetrator. So we go for people that are people who are not involved in wrongdoing, people who are not involved in drug smuggling in the area, people who are not shebeen queens or kings, but people who are doing good work in their community and who are living a clean life.
At any time of day or night, a victim can come to the Green Door site, which serves as a temporary safe space if they need to wait for professional services, such as the police.
That person don't only can keep them for a night or for a few hours, but his or her job is to immediately inform the police so that that person can get proper intervention. And if it's not the police that are responding, the person must also link that person to places of safety, or link them with our shelters, so that's where a comprehensive service will then be given. We use them as a transit from where you come from to where you'll get proper professional help. Remember, people are using their own house, and in most cases government budget take its own time. And because of the financial controls that are there, the laws that are there, sometimes it is difficult for government to spend whatever that they need to spend in a private home. So those are some of the constraints, those are some of the problems that have contributed in those green doors not being properly supported. But we are looking at them, and the Premier is actually in support of the green doors. Hence, he have then indicated that we need to investigate them, a way of properly supporting them, because our communities want those services, and we know in the last 6 years they've worked in favor of our people.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode, but let's keep the conversation going on Twitter. Use the hashtag #IonGauteng410. From myself, Kukule Tutele, and the team, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you.